Hello, everyone. Sorry, I was confused for a second. Uh, Welcome to Vimoh Live. This is a live stream that happens on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. And it is 8 o'clock on 14th October 2023. And that's a Saturday. We will be taking callers today, but we also have a guest. So I won't be devoting the entire episode to calls. I'll be taking a couple of calls and then a guest, and then maybe towards the end, one more call. सॉरी अबाउट दैट ये मेरे माइंड को पूरा पूरी स्लिप कर गया but we have a Twitch streamer by the name of Arun with us today, who will be joining in some time. I have pinned the join link in any case to the top of the chat. Whoever wants to come on screen and talk, feel free. Go ahead, click the link and join. Before you do that, I'll just remind everyone. Oh shit, my banner change करना भूल गया. Before you do that, I'll just remind everyone that you can support this channel by clicking the join button below and becoming a member. And you can also support the channel on Patreon at patreon.com/Vimoh. You can also join at my website www.vimo.in. There's a support button there. You can click on it and contribute an amount of your choice. You can also send money through UPI, Vimoh at UPI, VIMOH@UPI. So all that out of the way, let's just straight away get into calls because, okay, I have Deeps first. Hold on. Hey Deeps, go on. You're online.
Hi, Vimoh.
Hello.
So I have not come here to debate with you. I just want
Okay.
to increase my understanding and just want to talk with you.
Okay.
So in the following weeks, I have watched GM Skeptic and Cosmic Skeptic, and I watched all those debates those guys have done,
Mm-hmm.
and I am shocked at how bigoted religious people are,
Hmm.
and when it comes to their views on trans people, and that's quite shocking actually.
Okay.
So, I just wanted to ask you, like as a judge, to know the reality of the situation. Uh,
Hmm.
I feel uh, from the past, even though all so much of misunderstanding and divisions have occurred, there is some things which need to be protected, which
Such
need to be
as?
kept. How can I put it? Uh, so last time I wanted to define about consciousness, right? Like the first person experience happening in my brain. So I think I couldn't convey it properly. So I will just take some time and try to convey it to the best of my capabilities. So what I wanted to say is, can you observe this fact of aloneness in human beings?
The fact of what?
Aloneness.
Loneliness? Yeah.
Aloneness, yeah. So even when you're with your family, you can, when you watch yourself deeply, you can see that you are alone. It means your
Hmm.
experiences are confined to yourself.
Got it.
If I eat chocolate, you can't get the taste of it, only I can experience it.
Okay.
So so this fact of aloneness, so actually the original intention of the founders of these religions is to give you the taste of aloneness,
How do you know
which,
that?
no, aloneness is the fact from,
No,
how
no,
can I
that I
put it?
get. That I get. I'm saying, how do you know that the original intention of the founders of religions was to help people deal with loneliness?
Because I have experienced, because like, how can I put it? I am
You
the
have
second,
experienced. You have experienced being alone, right?
yeah.
You have not experienced the minds of the people who began religion. So how do you know that was their
No,
intention?
because no, I am the second generation. See, if personally talking, I am from like a second generation educated. I am from a
Hmm.
tribal community. I mean, not exactly tribal, kind of. I am the second generation to get educated. I am from
Hmm.
a town called Tiruchengode in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
So my father is the first generation to get this English education, and I'm the second generation. But my grandparents, I have stayed with them. They are extremely religious people. Yeah, of course, they have superstitions, they have false beliefs, and actually, my grandmother, we had once she had a fracture, and we had given her the traditional medicine, which proved fatal. Actually,
Hmm.
her condition became worse, and with the help of modern medicine, we could recover her. So I
Okay.
understand that there are problems with the old way of life. I agree with
Hmm.
that, but there
Hmm.
was some quality in that life which is missing in the modern world. That's what I wanted to. It's like, so I have interacted with the elders of my community. Uh,
Okay.
so basically, I am from the Saivite tradition. So what we were taught was the deity which you're worshipping is Actually, in the absolute sense, I am the deity which I'm worshipping. But as long as this comparative reality exists, I will be devoted to it. So that's called Shuddha Advaita Saiva.
I have no idea what you just said.
uh, s- See, the Shiva which we are saying, it's not like I am the slave of the Shiva. I am
Hmm.
Shiva in absolute sense, but as long as me and you exist, comparative reality exists, I'll be devoted to you, so that it does not become a selfishness. So actually, the
So
script is
you are Shiva only in your own mind, or are you objectively Shiva?
not objective, not in compare. It's I. This is not for others. For
So
myself,
it's subjective. So it's
it's
subjective.
yeah, it's subjective. I am
So
like
that means that you are Shiva according to you.
as a fabric of existence of my experience, the first person
That part does
experience.
not make sense. I'm just asking you this. If I said that you are Shiva only according to you, will that be
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, it's true. It's a liberating truth. It's not what to
That's
say,
subjective,
controlling
no? That's
mechanism.
again subjective. Maybe if I thought that I was Shiva, I would feel trapped because I don't want to be defined as Shiva. I want to be defined as whatever else I want to be
That's okay.
defined as.
It's for beginners. We give it for starting. You can change it later on. So God is not a controlling mechanism. It's a liberating mechanism.
So if you want to not be Shiva, you can be.
You can be. You can give other names. So there are different varieties.
So
So what?
I get that, but this appears to me to be mostly a case of you deciding on a certain imaginary construct as your identity and then just going with it. Is
No,
that
no.
all?
It's not like that. It's how to say it. To grasp the sense of aloneness I have means I am the fabric of the first person experience that's going on. So even the neuroscientists with all their theories currently, like there's the integrated information theory which I heard about consciousness, they can only correlate the contents of my experience to what I feel. If there's fear, they can just correlate those with those fear, but they are not giving an explanation, a satisfactory explanation of how the experience comes about. So that's the problem. That's
So,
the loophole.
so, what is your conclusion from what the neuroscientists have said with respect to your religion? What is it?
So I am saying this exploration is diametrically opposite to the scientific way of exploring things. You just have a glimpse of the fabric of what is me. So I'm not excluding everybody else. I'm not saying I won't engage in relationship. I will just stay alone. I won't be. I'm not saying that. I will relate with human beings, but I am the fabric of my experience. So get a glimpse of
Deeps,
it.
I get what you're saying, but if I take what you're saying as correct, all I can conclude is that you have an imagination and you are using that imagination to describe your identity. That's it.
That's true. Imagination. It is an imagination that I agree. The form is an
Hmm.
imagination. The words are imagination, but the experience itself is something real. It's not
How do you
false.
know that? How do you know? Experience is real. I am not saying that any experience is false, but if there are people who say that I experienced aliens, I experienced the cosmic
It's
mind, I experienced ghosts, and all sorts of stuff. How do I tell the difference between your experience and their experience? Is all experience true by default?
all experiences are not true. Even this imagination is not true. But the purpose of this imagination, the purpose it serves, is very important for human beings. Means
That I
a
agree.
movie.
That I agree. Experiences are very important for human beings. You are, however, pitting your particular imagination created experience with science and saying
Uh,
science is one way of knowing the truth. This is another way of knowing the truth. I'm saying the thing that you're describing as true, if you are to be taken seriously, it must mean that all experience is true, right?
yeah. See, in mechanics, you make models, right? You assume that the floor has no friction. All those are also imagination with the purpose of modeling things.
Yeah, but you don't stop at the modeling, right? You
Yeah, you
create
don't
the
stop.
model, you run experiments, and then you come to conclusions which are verifiable.
Yeah,
Can you do something similar with your model?
sure, sure. You can verify it subjectively. You can feel it.
That's not verification. I can say that I verified subjectively that there is a ghost in this room. How will you know I'm lying?
No, it's not for. As far as ghost is concerned, what's the purpose of describing it? Here, the purpose is to experience conscious sovereignty or the first person sovereignty. Means I'm sovereign, like nobody else.
I can do that without any religion, anything either. You're just talking
Sure,
about
sure,
experience.
it is not for. controlling or saying it's my right, I am teaching you. No, it's not for that. It's just an easy way of, it's a quick way of capturing this fact.
Deeps, I'm just saying ki what you're describing, what you're saying is just common, everyday, lived experience of human beings. What
It's,
is special about what you're saying?
it's not common. It's the thing is,
Everyone
human.
experiences things. Everyone imagines things. Everyone experiences things. Sometimes people imagine and experience things that are contradictory to each other. That has no value. What has value is what you can demonstrate to be true.
Sure, that's true. I'm not talking. Yeah, human beings have experiences. I'm not denying that. I'm saying this is to experience. How to put it? Uh, my aloneness. How can I get a taste of it?
How can you get a taste of your aloneness?
Yeah, then I'm free from all
Do
the
you know
relationship.
that your aloneness is your aloneness real?
It's real because
Then
it's a
you are
fact.
already experiencing it.
Sure, but
Then
that would
what
really.
are you talking about? What are you talking about when you say it's Shiva or something? Are you just putting labels on it?
No, I'm saying I'm not the see. Concept of God is a liberating mechanism. I'm not the slave of Shiva. I am only Shiva exists. That's how my people have taught me,
I
and
can
it may,
replace Shiva with a zebra, right?
you can call it whatever you want, but the experience is what we are focused on.
I don't understand the point of this, honestly, because you're saying things that appear to be no different from anything that anyone else does.
It's
And
actually a
yet,
very simple fact.
nobody, if someone says that I experience myself as a zebra,
Hmm.
they don't say that my experiencing myself as a zebra is another way for me to know reality opposite of science.
Oh
They
no,
don't
no,
say
no,
that. You are doing that.
no, 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 no. It's like describing the fabric of the stuff out of which my experience is made out of. So the why we have that worshipping is, I can see I'm not this body. I'm not, or how to say it, I'm not confined to this. Like if I see a tree, I am the vision of the tree itself. Like did you catch it?
Will you repeat that?
See, suppose I'm watching a tree. The vision itself is me. can you
The
can you
vision
grasp?
itself is you. No, it's not.
No, I am the vision because the light is going inside my eyes and vision is
Yeah, but
happening
light
here.
is also going into my eyes. You and I can both
No,
stand near the tree, look at the tree, and compare notes. Ki, are you seeing this thing? And I'll say, yeah, I'm seeing that thing. That is how we know that the tree is real.
that's true. That's
When
true.
you talk about
Objectively,
Shiva, there is no way for me to verify it.
no, no. See, that vision of the tree is happening in me. I'm talking about that.
If it was
Everything.
only happening in you, then it would be a product of your mind, and I would have no way to verify it. But
Oh,
it is not. It is happening. It is an objective reality that you and I can both look at and come to the conclusion that it is real.
that's fine. That's fine. I'm not telling objective reality doesn't exist. It exists for sure. I'm
Hmm.
saying when I'm looking at the tree, I am the tree. I am the vision. I'm not
I don't
personally.
understand what you say. If you look at poop, do you become poop?
No, the vision is me. I am the fabric stuff out of which the experience
See,
is made
that
out of.
that sentence does not make sense either, materially nor even grammatically. What do you mean I am the tree?
I am the tree because I am the vision. I am the stuff out of which my
No, you
experience is made
have
out
a
of.
vision.
Yeah, vision is me. That's what I'm saying.
No, vision is not you. You are you, and the vision is something that is happening inside your brain as a result of your optical mechanism.
Because there is a feeling that I am looking through
Deeps,
this
deeps,
eye.
deeps,
There are
deeps, deeps, deeps.
physical
Let,
input.
let, let me, let me just point something out. Let me just point something out. There is some value in using language properly. Because if you don't, you fall into the Deepak Chopra black hole, whereby this becomes that and that becomes this, and tree becomes poop and poop becomes tree. There is value in when you say, I am the vision, you are breaking a grammatical rule, which metaphorically and poetically, I can understand what you are trying to say. But you appear to be doing this as a way, you are saying this is diametrically opposed to science and is still a way of knowing the truth. I
I'm
don't
not
know
denying
what you
that.
mean by that. I don't know
No,
what you mean by that.
no, unlike Deepak Chopra and all those people, I'm not making any claims. I'm just saying it's a fact. I
What's the
watched
fact? What's
Professor
the
Dave
fact?
explains debunking Deepak Chopra, so I'm not making any claims. So there are some special spooky stuff. No, I'm,
Can you put this in a simple sentence? What do you mean? What is your point? What do you want to say?
there is no other for you. all you experience is just you from birth to death. You don't experience something called other person. Other person is an illusion.
No, they're not.
They exist independently, I agree. But the other
Hmm.
person, is an image you formed based on the projection of the reality on you.
Are
So you
you, if you're
experience.
talking about, our limitations as a species to process reality using our
No, I'm
sense
talking about you.
organs,
I'm talking about Vimoh
I'm
specifically.
talking, listen. If you're talking about the fact that human beings have limitations with respect to processing reality using their senses, you are correct,
Yes.
right? You are
Yeah.
correct. But that does not mean that that can be extended to mean that all you see is an illusion, because there are other ways of verifying things. If a person I see is there and I don't trust what I'm seeing, I can touch them and verify. Hopefully not inappropriately, but I can touch them and verify that they're there.
Yeah, sure, Vimoh. What you're saying is correct. I can see this table, you also can see it, and together we make models, we test it, so we get some
Hmm.
evidence, we improve our
Yeah.
model, and that's how science
Yeah.
works. And I'm
Yeah.
absolutely okay. I'm not saying it's wrong. We need it
Okay.
for medical purposes, we need for all kinds of uses. So I'm not the person who's saying I'm not supporting analytic idealism. I saw
Hmm.
Panda's interview with you.
Hmm.
I'm not making any spooky claims that something illusion, it's whatever we see is illusion or something.
Okay.
I am saying the first person experience. Personally, for you, when you see something, you are that. Like when you have pain, you are the pain. You are not a
I don't
separate.
see, that's the part. That's the part that I don't understand what you mean by.
Because that's the first person experience. You are the pain. When you have intense pain, you are the pain. You are
Again,
not
pain is
separate
not
from pain.
something. Pain. We're not talking about pain. We were talking about tree some time ago. These are two different categories. Pain is
Same thing.
subjective personal
No.
experience.
When you see the vision, you are the vision. And then next, when you go to feeling, you are the feeling. You are not a separate person experiencing the feeling. You are the pain.
I
So,
am so here's the thing. Describe pain for me. Give me the definition of pain.
so, so my body gets hurt. I have a wound here.
Hmm.
So there are some receptors which send signals to my brain. There are
Got
some
it.
electrical
Got it.
parts. But as a first person experience,
That's
I
a
am
sensible what you described was sensible.
yeah.
Your body experiences something that we have grown accustomed to describing as pain because it is unpleasant. When you say you are pain, you stop making sense.
No,
Get it?
I am the content of first person experience. I am not separate from it.
You are the what?
I am the stuff out of which the experience is made out of.
Okay.
So how did that stuff come into being at birth? At birth, all these got assembled. So that stuff is something different. That's what we
So
can.
here's Deeps.
At the end of,
We're running into the same problem over and over again, which is that you are beginning with something that we both agree with, and then you're getting to a point where you're mixing words up into a salad that stops making sense.
yeah,
So
it doesn't make.
Deeps, I have to get to the next caller. We'll keep
No,
doing this because this has happened three
I,
times.
I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
have to listen. Arun has already come. I have to take him on the call. We'll talk
No, I'll
next
just
week. Is that okay?
no, I'll just finish it. I'll just end it
Okay,
now.
go on. You have 1 minute.
Yeah, sure. So basically, what I wanted to say was we just want to give this glimpse to all human beings at least once, so that they
How?
won't be bound by relationships. Means they're
How?
free from comparative reality.
How? If it's
Means
subjective, how will you give that glimpse to other human beings? We just
because
agreed that it is not shareable.
yeah, other human beings also share the same subject,
Other human beings also share the what?
same subject. They also have the same first person experience.
Deeps, you're not saying anything. You realize you're not saying anything. You're not actually saying anything. You're
No,
saying that other human beings have experiences. I know that. What are
yeah,
you
no,
saying that's special here?
it's just like making them reflect themselves, so that they are same. They
People
don't go.
already reflect. People already reflect. What is the extra thing here?
That's what making them reflect. Like some human beings need it at certain crisis. That's the main purpose of the whole religious inquiry. So Vimo, what I wanted
To
to
the
say
best of
was
my knowledge, the whole purpose of religious inquiry is to define in groups and out groups so that
no,
you
no,
can
no.
say, ye tumhare log hain, and those people are those people, and those people are the people you are not. That is what the
Actually,
purpose of religion is.
actually, Vimo, that's an unfortunate thing which happened. That my religion is different. I am a Hindu. You're a Muslim, or other way. I am an Arab. You're a Jew. All those divisions is wrong. It's basically a flaw in the inquiry process.
Okay, cool. Deeps, we'll talk next week. Is that okay? I have a guest today.
Okay, so I just wanted to end by
No,
saying
no,
that
ho gaya. You already did. We'll talk next week. Chalo,
no,
bye bye.
I just want to say that I'm not defending any religion. I'm just saying there is something
Got
more
it.
to it.
Got
So
it. You're not defending anything. I'm still having trouble understanding what you're defending, but we will talk next week and we'll take it
and
forward. Cool.
can you just tell the difference between liberal and the left? Like why liberals defend the idea of
Next
nationality?
week, Deep. I don't have time right now. Next week. Bye.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you.
Bye. That was Deeps. My guest Arun has arrived. I will take him on screen now.
Hey, what's up? How you
Hey,
doing? How you doing, Vimoh? How you
hey, hi
doing?
Arun. Sorry about the delay. I already took a caller.
No,
So
I saw my chat
you were
and I
listening?
were my chat and I were seeing we were seeing the chaos that was this discussion. I didn't
Yeah,
know
it
what I was in
happens.
for actually because I just I looked at the YouTube page
Uh-huh.
and it was like debates. I'm like, I don't do debates. Oh God, is he gonna make me
Uh,
debate?
no, 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 no. We're going to. I actually wanted to know more about your work,
Sure,
and hopefully, like we can just this is the first time we're speaking, by the way, everyone. So we're going to do that. Everyone who still wants to come on screen and talk, you will probably have to wait for 15-20 minutes. If that's okay with you, please stay. Otherwise, you can leave, and when I open the lines again, then you can come back.
sure.
Until then, I just want to talk to Arun a little bit. So Arun is a Twitch streamer. He talks about politics and
Mhm.
South Asian politics in specific. So what has been going on?
I mean, I can just introduce myself. I mean, some of your
Go
followers
on.
might know who I am. So, um, my name is Arun. So people know me as I don't know if you've heard of this guy Hasanabi. So
Yeah,
he's an American politics streamer. I basically do a very similar style of political coverage to him, except what I do is I do it for India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, so on and so forth, Myanmar, Afghanistan, so on and so forth, right? So what I usually do is I do like a weekly roundup of the horrible things that have happened in our region in our neck of the world. Um, this week in particular has been it's been a weird week, obviously, given what's going on in Israel and Palestine.
yeah.
Even like the news channels that I would draw my sources from are actually reporting on that more so than domestic issues at the moment. But yeah, generally what I do is I go in and I talk about uh you know I talk about what is going on in this part of the world. I usually get through the news. Sometimes I'll indulge in a little bit of Sham Sharma debunking, or sometimes I'll
I have
indulge in a
seen
little.
those. I have
I
seen
might
those. Those
indulge
are
in that a
fun.
little bit. I might indulge in a bit of not anymore, but I used to indulge in string debunking when he was around. Um, I haven't gone through Abhijit Chavda's videos yet because they're like an hour long. They're like 3 hours long or whatever, and I just like that's about as long as my streams are, so I can't like do that. So yeah, I usually I cover Indian politics and South Asian politics in general from I guess a sort of left wing perspective, you could say.
Okay. So, okay, I just noticed that the username you have tagged in your Twitch thing is going to someone else's account. My Twitch account is the Vimoh Show.
The Vimoh Show, got you.
The
Okay,
Vimoh Show. Yeah. No issues.
okay,
No
I
issues. It
got you.
happens.
Hold on a second.
I
Yeah,
think I think the handle that you're linking to is also mine. It's just an old, very old defunct account.
the Vimoh Show. Okay, I got you.
The Vimoh Show. Yeah.
There we go. That's better.
So, have you been receiving messages from Indians about how supportive they are towards Israel?
We were just going over that.
Oh, okay.
I've seen the gam. I mean, like the thing is, I'm used to seeing Indian Twitter. That's the difference, right? Like I deal with those fuckers on a daily basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I made a one time I made a I guess a very facetious or I guess a like a instead of saying Rajput, like I replaced the last part of the word and I was just like I was making fun of that. And because like obviously, Rajputs a lot of Rajputs tend to have that sort of pride and it's like very toxic and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So I went ahead and I made fun of that name. And in return, what I received was shut up Tamil N-word. Because I'm from Tamil Nadu originally.
Uh,
Um and monkey and then I also received I've received a picture in return for that of the picture of Velupillai Prabhakaran, the leader of the LTTE, dead with a bullet in his head, just for making fun of that. So I'm used to like Indian Twitter at this point, but what is very fascinating to me is seeing the Americans come to grips with Indian Twitter. That's very fascinating because
do they like you and I have trouble coming to grips with Indian Twitter. I left Twitter.
Oh,
I
I
have
mean,
not
I don't
seen
have any.
America processing Indian. Sorry.
I mean, I don't have any choice. That's where I get a lot of my news from. That's where I get a lot of my news updates from
I
because,
mostly left it because of mental health reasons. It was just making me. It was like there is a certain amount of load I can take, and most of it is Instagram. Twitter was just too much, so I
oh,
just
for
left
me,
it.
it's the opposite. So I don't use Instagram all that much. In fact, like
Okay.
one of my moderators uses it way more than I do. Like they use my
Oh
account.
yeah, that must have been the person who sent you the thing that I shared
Yeah,
of
it was
your
my
Insta
moderator that
stories.
sent me. Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, so I actually don't use Instagram all that much. Actually, I don't
Hmm.
use Instagram except to like just like look for clothes,
Okay.
stuff like that. But Twitter is like I'm usually there all the time because I'm usually looking for news for the week there. And also that's where like because like there are some accounts that like with regards to news updates, like for example, Lunka Files is a great example of like where like there are some Twitter up there are like some Twitter accounts where like they're only on Twitter and they provide like vital news updates that mainstream news won't cover. So for example, like if you're talking about sort of the ongoing land grabs happening against the Tamils and the Muslims in Sri Lanka at the hands of the archaeology department,
Hmm.
there's certain like only like you're never going to hear about that from mainstream Sri Lankan news. That's not going to happen because
Hmm.
most of the Sri Lankan news is majority Sinhalese, right? And they're just very oblivious to Tamil and Muslim issues. So they're like, unfortunately, Twitter is a necessary evil for me to use in order to get
Yeah,
like
that's
personal
understandable.
updates.
I was watching this podcast. Sorry, listening to this podcast called. I think it's called Hard Fork. Have you heard of it?
No.
So Hard Fork is a podcast that is run by two technology journalists, and they were talking. Generally speaking, like a couple of months ago, their opinion was that everyone should leave Twitter because journalists are giving Twitter more credibility than any value that Twitter is giving them. But I listened to an episode this morning, and one of their opinions was uh, all the value as far as credibility goes has gone out of Twitter because the blue ticks don't mean anything anymore, and news outlets
Yeah.
are better off relying on their own platform and their own means to spread, to send out updates and stuff. Do you think Twitter is going like at its end, or do you see it continuing like this?
Well, first I see the top of the hour ad break coming to my chat right now. That's what I first see coming.
Okay.
That's what I first predict. So if you want to avoid the ads, you can subscribe. Um, you can subscribe for $5 and you can use a Twitch Prime, and Oilers are allowed to come in and oil up the entire place. So
Tell me
here's a 5 minute ad.
your Twitch handle is Arun Annao, right?
Yes.
ARUNA.
Yes.
I'll put it on
Yeah. It says
screen.
ARUNANNOW. Oh, whoopsie daisy.
This here.
Yeah. So yes, that's correct. Yeah. So what you have on
Cool.
the screen is correct, right?
So people, please
Um,
go to Twitch and follow Arun.
yeah. So basically, it's like Anna is literally, yeah, as you probably know, it's older brother in Tamil, but Anna is like a very casual way of saying it in like Chennai. And
I
Arun is
actually thought your name was Arunan, and the handle was Arunan now.
no. My name is no, it's not. I mean, you could like it's not in Arunan and Arun are basically the same name, so it's not the
Yeah,
exact. Yeah, it's not the exact same. Where are you from, by the way, Vimoh? Just if
I
you
am
don't mind.
from Odisha.
Wow. Okay.
Why? What happened? You know someone
Wow.
from
Because I
Odisha?
don't see a lot of Odia. Are you Odia?
I am Odia. Yeah,
I don't see a lot of Odia creators. That's actually awesome.
yeah. That's probably because there aren't many.
There, there's a chatter that I think studied in my chat that studied in Odisha. I think at some point.
Oh, where?
I don't know. They have to answer. He's a
Right.
Chennai, but he studied in Odisha.
If it matters, I studied in Chennai for some time. I was at Asian College of Journalism
Wow, that's
in
awesome.
2004 5. Yeah.
Okay, 60. My Chennai guy is like Apuni to Oriya to, like that's basically
ଆପଣ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ତ.
yeah.
Yeah.
He said yeah. He's saying Nisar Korda, I guess. I don't know what
Khorda.
that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay. So
yeah.
Khorda is a place.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. But yeah, what were we talking about before this?
Twitter. Do you see
Yeah,
your ad break is over?
yeah. My ad break is over. Yeah,
Okay. So we were talking about do you see Twitter going into the future or do you think it is on its last legs,
I think
given what Musk is doing and all that?
it's a hard question. I don't think. I think at the end of the day, Twitter has reached critical mass. And I
Hmm.
think at this point, it's super hard to adopt any other platform at this point. If anything is to challenge Twitter, if anything really is to challenge Twitter, I think it has to like be able to provide decent amount of news updates. I don't think I think what we're seeing on Twitter right now is basically just a reanimated husk. I think, yeah, obviously there's a lot of Twitter. I mean, there's a lot of damage that's been if Musk follows through on like you have to pay to use Twitter, then that will actually kill it. There's no shot because people are absolutely not going to pay to use a social media platform like that, and Blue Sky is going to go through
Musk
the
has
roof.
been trying to pay people. Do you make any money off Twitter?
No.
Musk has been paying people. I know some people who are like really popular on Twitter, but they think it is toxic and they want to leave. But Musk recently started giving out some payouts to people with really viral tweets. So I think that's desperate on his part. If I don't trust a man who doesn't pay his own employees their salaries to continue to pay creators for their tweets.
I mean, I think the people that are getting payouts the most are like the most toxic individuals on the platform, and I think that's like I would be very. I think there is a Saeed DiCaprio, or what's his name? I forgot his name.
I
Um,
don't know.
that Palestinian activist that was like he's like a Twitter reply. He's like majorly on Twitter. Even he's gotten paid, but again, I don't know what the trajectory is for Twitter. If I'm going to be perfectly honest, I think
Hmm.
it's just it's a zombie at this point. Like that's my personal opinion.
Hmm. Also, I think it's worth noting that we haven't used the name X even once till now. Nobody is
Exactly.
calling it X.
I mean, like, good luck trying to get like only the most ardent Elon bootlickers are using the term X. Like I've used it ironically just to be like, oh, this is
Yeah.
X now, but I've never used like it's at this point. One of your chatters, the leftist cabal is leaving Twitter because they can't push their narrative any longer. I'm a leftist. I'm still on Twitter. What?
Somebody on my chat said that. Who?
Oh, yeah, it's in your private chat.
Oh, private chat.
Yeah.
The left. Oh, it's Nemo. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, is it? Oh, is it a joke? Joke, or is it just
No,
like?
no. It's. I'm not sure. I think I recognize Nemo, but I'm not sure, so I won't say anything. Go on. We'll
Ah, I
talk to
got
Nemo
you.
in some time.
Chatter. One of my chatters is like, would a payout be called X gon' give it to you? I hate this chatter. This chatter is incredibly good at derailing the entire conversation. I'm gonna
Okay.
just
Yeah.
not look at chat for now. But yeah, that's basically what I do. I just borrow news sources from Twitter. And yeah, and I just cover the news in a very, I guess, animated way. Because a lot of stuff that happens in India is very anger
As
inducing.
it
Very
is, but
anger inducing.
do you find so? Here's an interesting thing that I noticed recently. I found you talking with Hassan on his stream,
Hmm.
and you were explaining certain things that are happening in India to him. Now, obviously, it's more anger inducing for you. The general understanding of India over where Hassan is, do you find they have a full picture? Do you find
Not even
not
close.
even close?
Not
Yeah.
even like I mean you like the thing is like it hasn't fully internalized for them that India isn't like the United States in that India is a very multi-ethnic, very multinational country.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very multinational state. It hasn't fully set into they haven't really fully understood that because they don't like their closest understanding is like the United States, where the multinationalism comes from, immigrants coming to the country as well as the indigenous people, right? And the various people that make up the country. Whereas like in India, it has been that way for a long time. And I think it's hard for them to like fully internalize the fact that India as a concept didn't really exist until like 1947. Like what we know as a united India didn't exist until very recently. So there's a
It
lot of
might be it might be argued that it doesn't exist now either.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I would tend to agree with that to a certain degree.
Mhm.
But
And maybe
I
that's a good thing. Like, I'm not
oh
saying
I
division for the sake of, destruction, etc., but I'm saying keep more control in the hands of states about the things that are happening within them is probably a good idea. And it is, by the way, before any Modi supporter jumps on me, it's also one of the things Narendra Modi said before he came to power, that federalism is something I'm going to support. And then he came to power and he did the exact opposite things.
yeah, I mean, I'm from Tamil Nadu, so a lot of like the sort of the Dravidian politics
Hmm.
that exists in Tamil Nadu. I don't agree with everything that they have to say, but like a lot of my politics is informed by, Periyar, Ambedkar, sort of those sorts of leaders. So I think that I generally think, I mean, if you want an example of where like a lack of federalism goes horrifically wrong, Sri Lanka is a perfect example of that, right? You
Tell me
now have
more.
so Sri Lanka is not at all like India in the sense of like Sri Lanka has subdivisions like provinces, but
Hmm.
things like policing, for example, that's still done at the federal level. Control of land is at the federal level because the 13th Amendment to the Sri Lankan Constitution hasn't been fully implemented yet. So what you have these situations where you have uh police from one particular ethnicity, go into a minority ethnic group's like village and harass them and sexually assault them and stuff like that. You have police brutality that is a problem in Sri Lanka, partially due to the very centralized police force.
Hmm.
And it's part and parcel of the problems that are, plaguing Sri Lanka at the moment. So that's a perfect example of where a lack of federalism goes wrong. I think another thing is that like Americans don't like the American understanding of let me tell you, so speaking with a lot of Americans, I'll tell you what they know about India, okay? They know triple R, they know RRR, butter chicken, naan, and if you're lucky, they know about chai. That's all they know about India. They don't know anything about India. Like, or they know like Taj Mahal. That's about it. Like all the Indian chatters in my chat are going nuts because they know it's true. They know it's true. They know it's 100% true. That's all Americans know about India. So it's like when like someone like me goes on, sometimes Kama Sutra. That's about it. Like that's all
That's
they know.
what.
It's all the high notes. It's all the high notes. It's like in Bollywood. That's it. Right. That's all they
Bollywood.
know.
And
So it's like
many of them didn't even know about that we had a space program.
yeah, of course they
Like
don't.
Chandrayaan, for the first time, many of them appear to have discovered, wow, they have a space program.
I mean, like when the whole Israel thing was happening, right? Or like as the situation as Israel's like bombing the shit out of Gaza right now, like there's some people in the United States that just sort of went the opposite direction and just used this as an opportunity to be very racist towards Indians. So one comment that I saw was like, we shouldn't have given India internets before indoor plumbing and schools. And it's like, man, like you don't think those exist in India? Like, get out of here. Like,
You don't think those existed in India 3,000 years ago?
oh yeah, no, they
Mohenjo-daro and
existed
Harappa
5.
people had indoor plumbing.
No, like here's the thing. I've only slowly begun to expose everyone else to the madness that is Indian news, and they
Hmm.
can't get enough of it. Like I showed them the famous Arnab versus Waris Pathan debate. And then
I
I
wonder if
also
that's a good thing. Like the first impression matters, right? I wonder if you're permanently scarring them into having that impression of India.
No, I think I gave them a sense of like relief because it's like at least we don't have that here. Or they say that
Okay.
like they
Indian
say
news
that
is
like
worse
oh
than American news?
oh no, like, order of magnitude absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Not
I
even
thought it was just about the same.
no, no, you don't have Arnab style debates.
Okay.
Uh Arnab style debates don't happen in the United States. It never happens. Like at most, like it'll happen for like 2 seconds, and then the entire thing calms down because like decorum. A big thing about
Hmm.
American news is decorum, right?
Hmm.
The thing about the British news is that decorum must be maintained. That there's a pretense of respectability and that exists in the United States and in the UK that doesn't exist in places like India or Sri Lanka. It's
Okay.
basically like very mask off in India. It's a
Hmm.
I would say like I've said this before. I think Indian politics is an order. It's like American politics without the mask. Like
Without the mask, yeah.
it's very much American politics without the mask. Obviously, there's complications. Like we never had a Red Scare like the United States did. Like there are communist parties running around in India, and
We are
that also
beginning to have we're kind of beginning to have one now, and we kind of sort of had it at like simmering temperature for quite a long time, but we're beginning to have a red scare in a major way because uh, there have been people arrested for a crime no greater than being associated with a communist organization. I can
yeah
understand people getting arrested or having getting action taken against them if it's a banned organization. But just because someone had communist literature at home, some people get arrested sometimes. That
yeah.
happens.
I mean yeah. Arundhati Roy is
Yeah, yeah, she's an example, but not the only one.
yeah. Oh, NewsClick. Obviously, there's the other.
NewsClick, yeah.
Yeah
NewsClick, Mr. Purkastha, I keep mispronouncing his name, but him, the scholars who are in jail as a result of Bhima Koregaon uh,
yeah. There's
matter,
Stan
those
Swami.
also.
Yeah.
Stan Swami passed away in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There is definitely a Red Scare, which I think now, which I think was partially influenced from the Naxals, right?
yeah.
Um,
Or rather,
but
the Naxal scare weaponized into creating categories like urban Naxal right
yeah,
now.
exactly.
Yeah,
So I think it's definitely a sort of. I definitely see the red. I mean, I don't see it. I think in this particular case, what we're going to see is that the Red Scare is squarely attached to the BJP. I think if the BJP loses in
yeah,
2024, the Red Scare will be gone because like
yeah.
Congress
Not
is
completely.
not
Like there
completely
will, I think there will remain some kind of general suspicion about those communist types, but
right.
the levels to which these guys are taking it as is unprecedented.
Yes, I would agree with that. I think
Mm.
I don't think it would be I don't think if Congress were to get in power, you would see the kind of arrests on communist intellectuals that we see
Mhm.
under the BJP right now.
Although
Um,
Taranga points out something. Uh, it's always been there, Arun. Please read about the Operation Green Hunt, which was UPA 2 policy headed by then Home Minister Chidambaram.
okay, I'll definitely look at that. I know that there was I know that uh the Congress party was going up against the sorry the communists in Kerala. But I've always just chalked that up to I mean those two guys don't like each other. Obviously, they're rival parties in
I think
Kerala.
that's always obviously there, like
There
intra party thing, but I think it goes slightly deeper than that also. Like a
right
general simmering
right
temperature red scare is always in effect in India,
yeah
like so many other simmering things, like right
right
under the surface, and then somebody comes and weaponizes one thing and becomes big.
right. But I guess in the United States, what like if you were to talk to an Indian, right? Like just like talking about like there are like I guess like socialized social welfare reforms that exist in India that if you were to talk to every Indian, like any Indian, and you were like, well, privatization of this is better, you're probably likely to be the best the general reaction that I've seen from Indians in general is that Indians are more likely to oppose privatization than the United States because of how extensive the Red Scare was here. Like even talking about like in the United States, talking about healthcare is such a, like, everyone understands how broken the healthcare system is here, but
Mhm.
like talking about a single payer system is like if you were to talk to someone from Tamil Nadu about privatizing half the healthcare, the reasons that they might give you is like, well, the government hospitals are not doing as great, the quality is not as good as, like, even in Tamil Nadu, it's not as good as like the private hospitals and whatnot. But like they'll
Mhm.
never advocate for taking away government hospitals. Like they'll never agree with that. But in the United States, we don't have a concept of government hospitals. That doesn't exist. Everything's private. All the hospitals are private, right? It's entirely private. So like there's nothing that we like, um even talking about like basic things like, social security and healthcare is difficult because of the extensive amount of red scare propaganda that happened here.
Okay.
So, but yeah, going back to the point, Americans don't know shit about India. They don't know anything about this part of the world, generally speaking, because
And
I've
more
had to tell.
importantly, do they even care?
They don't.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They do not care. They don't care. I've seen people feign like care for this part of the world, but the truth of the matter is, it's just like it's not our fucking problem. So I don't want to deal with it. Like it's the same thing of like I've been talking about the atrocities that happens to Tamils on a regular basis in Sri Lanka, and it's like I've received nothing but like I've received mostly blank stares from people, and it's like even talking to Indians about like the IPKF
Yeah.
involvement in Sri Lanka, and it's getting Indians to care is also hard because like again what the LTTE did to civilians in India is unjustifiable, obviously, but the like it's never looked at in the proper context of what actually happened, right? It's never looked at the fact that, oh, the IPKF also sent, they sent troops into Sri Lanka, and they also committed like massive war crime. Like the IPKF went into a hospital in Jaffna and slaughtered 70 people,
I think I may have heard about this one.
right? But if you look at like Madras Cafe, like the
Mm.
movie, like the way they address that is they like the war crimes the IPKF committed in Sri Lanka is addressed as though it's just muckraking journalism, like they're just trying to stir things up, and that's not what happened. Obviously, like the IPKF committed atrocious war crimes in Sri Lanka, but no one's been held accountable for that. But like even getting Indians to care about that is very difficult, right?
I'll be honest, I probably should read up more about it because my understanding is not as good as it probably should be.
But it's not your fault though. It's because India has a vested interest in Sri Lanka. It's that and Indian media is very likely to reflect that, But the thing is like Americans don't care about this part of the world. I've been trying to get people to. I've been covering what's been going on in Manipur for like the past 5 months or so, and I've been begging people to like pick this up. Like this is like what is happening is a like ethnic cleansing, what is very
Mhm.
close to ethnic cleansing of an indigenous group of people. That's what is happening right now. But it's hard. It's genuinely hard for people to care about this part of the world. It's just hard because like you would you would think you would think because India is the largest country on the planet at this point. It's set to surpass China in terms of population, but
Mhm.
again, people are uh Nemo, don't make me, Nemo.
What did he say?
Yes, Métis are being ethnically cleansed. Yeah, don't make me. Uh uh he's obvious
It's
like
okay. I've removed him from the studio. Go on.
I know it's okay. No, I because the thing is like I have a tendency to just pick out chatters and just fight with them. So sorry. I have a tendency to just like if someone says something stupid in my chat, like 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 I like for
I
example, like
used to do that until there were too many, and now I just say, just come and face to face talk to me.
I don't know how like you like I don't do that. Like I don't ever do that because like it's just not worth the time, unfortunately. And it's usually like
It's not
it's
the
never
word. Like The goal is never to change the mind of the person you're speaking with, although that's a good side effect sometimes. The goal is to create a piece of conversation that you can put online, and other people may watch it, and if they're fence sitters on any matter, they change their view a little bit.
That's fair.
You're never going to change anyone's mind by talking to them. Even if their mind changes a little bit, they'll pretend as if their opinion has only become stronger. There'll be people here say, I was an atheist, but after listening to you guys debate about religion, now I believe in God. Just to piss you off, they'll say things like that.
Yeah.
So that you give up and don't do things.
Yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? There's not much that can be done about it.
Yeah. By the way,
Um,
why don't you stream on YouTube?
I've thought about that. So I actually started streaming on Twitch, and
Mhm.
um, but I did a test YouTube stream right now. I mean, the thing is, you're right. I probably should be streaming on YouTube because that's where the Indian audience is very likely to
I
be.
wasn't saying should. I'm just asking why not, because it's totally understandable that if the target audience is slightly Western, then Twitch does make more sense.
No. I mean, it's not that I'm saying that you are saying that. It's more like it's a thought that's always been in my head. Like, if I really want to reach the Indian audience, I really should
Mm.
be streaming on YouTube
Yeah.
because I mean, there are a lot of Indians in my chat right now, but
Mm.
like ultimately, like I've run up against this sort of I've definitely run up against this problem where like I often end up having to explain like what is going on to people that are lost, whereas like the Indians in the chat just already get it. Like I don't have to
Yeah.
explain that much. Like I don't have to explain anything more. Like I can just say like, oh, you know, uh so yeah,
There's a
that's I mean,
stronger lived experience.
what's up?
Like they live in the topic. It's
Right,
part
they
of their
know it.
lived experience.
Right, they have lived experience. They know exactly what I'm talking about,
Mm.
but a lot of the Americans and the non-Indians that come into my chat are just, like, lost. They're very Is Twitch hard to access in India? No, so it's more like like, Indians generally tend to use a lot of mobile devices. A lot of people tend to use mobile devices, and YouTube is a default app. Like, 'cause Android is more popular in India,
Yeah. Yeah.
and because YouTube is a Google product. So, and you're gonna see streams on you like it's mostly because it's easily like the thing with YouTube is that it's a default app on most Indians' phones. That's the reason people watch YouTube more than Twitch. Twitch, you have to actually download it.
Mm. If Amazon was smart, they would have Twitch bundled in. They'll partner with some Android companies and they'll just say, hey, watch Twitch.
I mean, Amazon, like if Amazon were smart, they would actually they would integrate Twitch and Amazon Prime in some way. They would have they would sponsor shows on Twitch that would later be broadcast on
I
Amazon
think
Prime.
they treat Twitch like a stepchild of some sort. With
They
like
do.
minimum investment, it's just floating around, not
Oh,
really
they
being
absolutely
much
yeah.
being done to grow it.
Oh, they absolutely do. They do that. It's like we're like the bastard stepchild of
Yeah.
of Amazon, and it's like the thing is, okay, you know what's wild? Twitch used to have this policy for partners where partners would unequivocally get a at least 70-30 split, right? So you get 70% of the subscription revenue. That used to be the policy. The other thing, one of my former mods said that like my content is very much chatter oriented. So instead of just like I rely on chat to have a
Huh.
back and forth, which when I was first starting out sucked because like I had like one dude in chat and it was just
Well,
like
you can do that on YouTube also. Like YouTube does have I live stream on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. This is going out on Twitch as well as YouTube. You can
yeah
do
yeah
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um Yeah, no, you can do that. I don't know. I've thought about it, but now I've reached a point where I don't think I want to split the audience and have it like I don't want to like go to YouTube immediately. I want to at
Hmm.
least get to a point in Twitch where I can be because like if I go to YouTube, what's gonna happen is like a lot of the people that watch me on Twitch they're just gonna like stay on Twitch and they're not gonna move to YouTube, right? So it's gonna be like I'm gonna be rebuilding the audience again. So it's like at this point I've reached a point where I don't really want to like restart again. That's basically it.
Okay. That makes sense.
Right. But yeah,
So, Arun, great fun talking to you. I would actually
fantastic.
like to have you as a guest on an entire episode. Maybe we can do that sometime next month, if that's all right with you.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love that.
Cool. So let's do that. This was a fun conversation. I will let you return to your stream and I'll return to my stream to talk to a few more people and try to change their mind.
Have fun with that. This is gonna be great. No, everyone in your chat is like begging you, yo, get this guy out the screen, get this guy out the screen, get this guy out the screen.
That
Let
happens
me
with
on.
everyone. That happens with everyone. No matter who I'm talking to, there are like two people saying, "Get like, let me talk, let me talk."
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Cool. Thanks so much, man. Thank you for
Thanks, Vimoh. I
coming, and
appreciate it. And yeah, we
this was
definitely
fun.
got to link up. If you, whenever you want, you can come on my. I mean, I guess you're already on my stream a little bit, but
No, sure. I'd love to. Let me
yeah,
know,
you
and
can. Yeah,
we'll
for
do it.
sure. Do you have a Discord, by the way, or nah?
No, I don't. I deleted my Discord. It was too much work managing it.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes
Yeah.
sense. I mean, yeah, I have a Discord if you ever want, like, if you just want to chill in my place.
Okay, I'll try it. Let's send me a link on Instagram. I'll join.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Great. Thanks. Bye bye.
See you. Bye bye.
That was Arun. This is his Twitch handle. If you want to follow him, you can do so on Twitch, twitch.tv/arunanav. And with that, I will return to. Wait, what did I do? Ah, wait, let me just read this one super chat that came from Deeps. Deeps, it's okay, man. Deeps has sent a super chat of 40 rupees. First of all, thanks. Deep says, I'm really sorry for taking your time. I support you. Deeps, I know. It's okay. I only asked you to go because I had a guest and I had to take them on. I will love to talk to you if you come back next week. Please do. We will talk more. Although I don't see us getting past that problem because I feel that a lot of things you're saying are word salads, but we can totally talk. Don't worry about it. No need to say sorry. Thank you again for the super chat. People, I'll just remind you, you can support this channel by clicking the join button below and becoming a member or sending a super chat. I will continue doing this for half an hour more because we had a guest today. So let's take a caller. Sapen, you're online. Go on.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Sapen. Go on.
Sorry, I can't open camera. मैं कैमरा नहीं खोल सकता.
That's okay.
Sir, I am new to your channel, by the way.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk about something like there are a lot of people that say कि तुम atheist बने हो cool दिखने के लिए, cool बनने के लिए. So how to counter them?
क्या तुम एथियस्ट बने हो कूल दिखने के लिए?
No.
Then tell them no. इसमें काउंटर करने का क्या है? They haven't given you an argument, right? अगर मैं कहूँगा कि तुम एक चूजे हो, तो तुम्हें साबित करने की जरूरत नहीं है कि तुम चूजे नहीं हो. तुम कह सकते हो नहीं हो. तुम्हें किसी के ऊपर भी कोई तुम्हारे ऊपर अगर 1 सेकंड वेस्ट करता है, तुम उसके ऊपर 1 सेकंड वेस्ट करो. कोई तुम्हारे ऊपर 1 सेकंड वेस्ट करेगा और तुम 5 मिनट लेके आर्गुमेंट तैयार करोगे उसको सैटिस्फाई करने के लिए. क्यों भाई? उसको सैटिस्फाई करना तुम्हारा काम क्यों है? If someone is just going to accuse you, you can just say no, I don't need this. अगर कोई आर्ग्यूमेंट देता है, अगर कोई कहता है कि मुझे लगता है तुम एथिस्ट बने हो सिर्फ इसलिए क्योंकि तुम्हें अटेंशन चाहिए और इसका कारण है ये सब, तो तुम उनसे बात कर सकते हो. पर अगर कोई कारण नहीं दे रहा तो तुम्हें उनका कोई जवाब देने की जरूरत नहीं है.
Yes, and there is an argument. There is a good argument from theists that is called fine-tuning argument. Do you know about that?
Yes, in fact, I have made a video about it. If you go to my main channel, Vimoh, and you search for fine tuning, you'll find a video called Indian Atheist Debunks Fine Tuning Without Using Math. You can watch that.
Okay. So can you briefly counter this now, or should I just watch the video?
You can watch the video and then you can come back and ask me if you don't understand anything because that was a fairly long, comprehensive video. The main point
Okay.
was that we are conscious beings who look at the universe and then we find patterns in it. And that is what we are doing. We are looking at the universe and we are looking at, hey, this thing suits us exactly. Hey, that thing suits us exactly. When हमारे जगह कोई और लिविंग बीइंग होता और यूनिवर्स अलग होता तो वो भी यही कर रहा होता.
Yeah.
इट्स लाइक एक टट्टी का ढेर है, उसके अंदर एक कीड़ा है, और वो कीड़ा कह रहा है वाओ, ये टट्टी का ढेर तो परफेक्ट है, इसके अंदर मैं जिंदा रह सकता हूँ, मेरी फैमिली हो सकती है, मेरे बच्चे कॉलेज जा सकते हैं, मैं खा सकता हूँ, मुझे इस टट्टी के ढेर को जरूर मेरे लिए बनाया गया होगा. दैट इज व्हाट द आर्ग्यूमेंट बेसिकली इज. Yeah, so that is in short, but you can watch the full video. And if you have any other questions, you can come back next week and we can talk. Is that okay?
हाँ ठीक है, वो देख लूंगा सर वीडियो.
ठीक है. और कुछ?
और मैंने कुछ हफ्तों पहले आपकी एक वीडियो देखी थी, उसमें एक वर्ड का जिक्र हुआ था जो है हाइपर नेशनलिज्म. मुझे समझ में नहीं आया हाइपर नेशनलिज्म होता क्या है और एंड व्हाट इज रॉन्ग विद इट. कैन यू प्लीज एक्सप्लेन.
मुझे लगता है कि हाइपर नेशनलिज्म और नेशनलिज्म में कुछ खास वैसे फ़र्क नहीं लगता मुझे. मुझे लगता है कि नेशनलिज्म के बारे में मेरे ओपिनियन वही हैं जो रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर के थे. वो ये है कि वो लोगों को उसी प्रकार का एक मेंटल फ्रेमवर्क देता है जैसा कि धर्म देता है, और इसीलिए शायद धर्म को और नेशनलिज्म को जोड़ना बहुत आसान होता है, कुछ ज़्यादा मेहनत नहीं करनी पड़ती. हाइपर नेशनलिज्म मैंने यूज़ किया था या किसी और ने यूज़ किया था?
शायद किसी और ने यूज किया था, और कुछ
हो सकता है.
चैट थी शायद कि देयर इज हाइपर नेशनलिज्म इन इंडिया एंड दिस इज रॉन्ग, ऐसा कुछ तो था, मैंने पढ़ा था. तो
हाँ, तो
वो मुझे समझ
उनका
में
पॉइंट क्या था मुझे नहीं पता, पर मेरा पॉइंट यही है कि हाइपर नेशनलिज्म और नेशनलिज्म में कुछ खास फ़र्क नहीं है. नेशनलिज्म बाय नेचर इज़ क्वाइट हाइपर.
ओके.
हुँ.
और एक मिनट.
लिख के लाइक
और
राइट?
ये जो हेलो,
हाँ, बोलो, बोलो.
अभी अभी मैं तो मतलब अभी कुछ महीने हुए मैंने ये सब चीज़ों को एक्सप्लोर करना शुरू किया है, जैसे लेफ्ट विंग राइट विंग. मुझे इन सब चीज़ों के बेसिक्स पता है. लेफ्ट विंग में कुछ क्रिएटर्स है जो राइट विंग वालों को भक्त कहते हैं, अनभक्त कहते हैं, और राइट विंग में कुछ है जो लिब्रांडू कहते हैं या सूडो सेक्युलर कहते हैं. तो ये सब चीज़ें मुझे अभी अभी पता चली है. और मुझे यूट्यूब रिकमेंडेशंस में एक वीडियो आई थी, कोई राइट विंग क्रिएटर था, इंजीनियर एक्सप्लेन्स करके. उसने ना द देशभक्त,
मुझे एक्चुअली
आपको
बोला
पता
गया है,
होगा.
मुझे बोला गया है ये इंजीनियर एक्सपीरियंस चैनल को देखने के लिए, पर मैंने देखा नहीं है अब तक, सो मैं उनके ऊपर कमेंट नहीं करूँगा. बट उसके अलावा क्या
नहीं नहीं
पॉइंट है?
कमेंट, नहीं नहीं सॉरी सॉरी,
हुँ,
कमेंट ना करे.
हुँ.
उसने ना एक लेफ्ट विंग क्रिएटर है, आपको पता होगा, द देशभक्त करके.
आकाश बैनर्जी, आई नो.
हाँ हाँ, आकाश बैनर्जी. उसने द
आई नो.
देशभक्त को एक्सपोज किया था.
वो इंजीनियर ने किया था एक्सपोज़ इसको?
हाँ हाँ, द देशभक्त को
अच्छा,
किसी ने एक्सपोज किया था.
मैंने वो वीडियो भी नहीं देखा है.
नहीं
मैं
ठीक है,
देख
आपने
लूँगा,
वीडियो नहीं.
अगर मैं देख
हाँ,
लेता तो कमेंट कर दूँगा. हाँ.
मतलब आप वीडियो पे कमेंट मत कीजिए, अभी आपने देखा नहीं, ठीक है. मुझे बस जानना है कि उसने जब एक्सपोज किया था
हुँ,
तब उसने एक वर्ड यूज किया था कि इसको, इस देशभक्त को अपने कल्चर से और इन सब चीजों से पहले बहुत प्यार था, और फिर इसके अंदर जब इसने यूट्यूब चैनल खोला और ये जब लेफ्ट विंग ये हो गया, तब इसके
हुँ.
अंदर कम्युनिस्ट सेंटिमेंट्स आ गए. इसमें मुझे एक बात समझ नहीं आई कि ये कम्युनिज्म और लेफ्ट विंग का क्या नाता है. कम्युनिज्म मैंने 9 क्लास में की किताब में पढ़ा था, बस उसके आगे मुझे कम्युनिज्म ज्यादा पता नहीं है.
देखो, जिस वीडियो की बात आप कर रहे हो उसको मैंने देखा नहीं है, सो मुझे नहीं पता उसने क्या एग्जांपल दिए इस केस को, इस आर्गुमेंट को सपोर्ट करने के लिए. कुछ दिया होगा तो देख लूँगा. जहाँ तक मुझे पता है, मैंने देशभक्त को जितने वीडियो देखे हैं, मुझे वहाँ कम्युनिज़्म तो नहीं दिखता बिल्कुल. उल्टा मुझे कई बार एक सेंट्रिज़्म दिखता है, क्योंकि मुझे नहीं लगता कि अगर आप ध्रुव राठी या देशभक्त आकाश बैनर्जी को पूछोगे तो उनमें से कोई भी कहेगा कि वो लेफ्टिस्ट हैं. वो कहेंगे कि वो लिबरल हैं, और लिबरल और लेफ्टिस्ट में फ़र्क होता है.
अच्छा. अच्छा, लेकिन जब मैंने वो एक्सपोज वीडियो देखी थी तो मैं ये करता हूँ कि राइट विंग के भी वीडियोस देखता हूँ और लेफ्ट विंग के भी वीडियोस देखता हूँ, और फिर अपना दिमाग लगाता हूँ, क्योंकि इस
हुँ,
चीज में मैं, इस चीज को एक्सप्लोर करने में मैं नया हूँ.
हुँ.
और कम्युनिस्ट वर्ड मुझे सुनने में आ गया, जो पहले मैंने कभी सुना नहीं था. कोई एक्सपोज कर रहा है किसी को, तो आई वॉज अ बिट
पता नहीं.
कंफ्यूज, तो इसलिए पूछा.
मैंने वो वीडियो देखा नहीं है, देखा होता तो शायद लंबी बातचीत कर लेता, बट विदाउट वॉचिंग समथिंग आई वुड लाइक टू नॉट कमेंट ऑन इट.
अच्छा. और एक छोटा सा वो सवाल था कि इतने कुछ दिनों में 2-3 दिनों में मैंने भक्त देखे हैं जो कि इज़राइल को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं
हम्म
और एंड दे आर जस्ट लाइक कट्टर कि मैं तो सपोर्ट करूंगा बिल्कुल। वो मुझे जानने की जरूरत नहीं है क्या हुआ है क्या नहीं है, मुझे बस इज़राइल को सपोर्ट करना है। वैसे देखी दोनों साइड्स जा सकते हैं, पैलेस्टीन की भी साइड देखी जा सकती है कि उनके ऊपर जुल्म हो रहा है और
हम्म
अ, इज़राइल की भी साइड देखी जा सकती है कि उनके
हम्म
ऊपर मतलब उनके ऊपर तो
अटैक
हजारों
हुआ था।
सालों से हो रहा है। हाँ
हम्म
हाँ, वो अटैक हुआ था और हिस्ट्री में भी उनके ऊपर परसिक्यूशन हुआ है जूस के ऊपर।
नहीं, वो
तो
थोड़ा ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है। वो परसिक्यूशन के पक्ष में अगर ये लोग होते ना, हमारा जो लोकल हिंदू नेशनलिस्ट है जो कि इसराइल को सपोर्ट करता है, वो अगर एंटी सेमेटिक वायलेंस के खिलाफ होता तो वो बहुत
हम्म
जगह ऐसे लोगों को सपोर्ट कर सकता था।
हम्म
अमेरिका में ऐसे ज्यूज़ हैं जिन पे हमले हमले होते हैं। अमेरिका में ऐसे केसेस हैं एंटी सेमिटिज्म के जिसके खिलाफ ये लोग कभी नहीं बोलते क्योंकि इनका पूरा का पूरा पक्ष डोनाल्ड ट्रंप जैसे एंटी
हम्म,
सेमाइट्स के पक्ष में होता है, राइट? इसराइल के सपोर्ट
अच्छा।
में ये इसलिए नहीं है क्योंकि वो ज्यूज़ हैं। इसराइल के सपोर्ट में वो इसलिए हैं क्योंकि इसराइल एक बुली है। इसराइल के लोगों के खिलाफ अटैक्स हुए हैं और अभी रिसेंटली भी हुआ है। पर सॉलिडारिटी और सपोर्ट में फ़र्क होता है। अगर एक देश के खिलाफ एक आतंकवादी हमला होता है, कोई उल्लू का पट्टा या कोई घटिया इंसान नहीं होगा जो कहेगा कि हाँ, अच्छा हुआ, उनके लोगों को मरना चाहिए था। ऐसा कोई नहीं कह रहा है। पर इज़राइल जब एक पूरे के पूरे
हम्म
देश के लोगों के खिलाफ अटैक कर रहा है और अब उसके हमलों में बच्चे मारे जा रहे हैं और वो जानबूझ के कह
हम्म
रहा है कि मैं इनके खिलाफ हथियारों का इस्तेमाल करूँगा और अमेरिका और वेस्टर्न नेशंस उसके पक्ष में हैं, इस जेनोसाइडल
हम्म
अटैक के मामले में, तो उसके पक्ष में खड़ा होना एक अलग बात है। वो इज़राइल का सपोर्ट नहीं है। इज़राइल के आतंकवादी हमलों के विक्टिम्स के साथ खड़ा रहना सॉलिडारिटी है। इज़राइल का पैलेस्टाइन
हम्म
के ऊपर जो हमला है, उसके सपोर्ट में रहना ये
हम्म।
घटिया हरकत, घटिया है और कुछ नहीं है। और
मतलब
जिन
मुझे
हज़ारों सालों
एक
के
ही बात।
परसिक्यूशन की
हाँ,
कोई बात करता है ना, वो ज्यूज़ के बारे में बात करता है। इज़राइल वो नहीं है। ठीक वैसे ही जैसे कि मॉडर्न इंडिया मेडिवल इंडिया नहीं है। इज़राइल यूरोपी लोगों का एक देश है, जिसको वो लैंड मिला था दूसरे यूरोपी लोगों की मदद से। This point I'm obviously picking up from Instagram. Uh, I'm forgetting who I picked it up from. बट इसराइल पैलेस्टाइन के डिफरेंस को अगर देखने के लिए कोई कोशिश करेगा तो सबसे आसान तरीका ये देखना कि इसराइल के लोग एक्चुअली यूरोपियन हैं। यूरोपियन लोगों ने पैलेस्टाइन का एक हिस्सा ले लिया और पैलेस्टाइन के
हाँ,
लोग
मतलब
अभी भी
थोड़ी बहुत
अभी भी
हिस्ट्री
ऐसे
पता है वैसे।
ओके गुड सो दैट इज द
तो
पॉइंट।
मेरा यही सोचना था कि यार इन लोगों को कुछ पता बता तो कुछ होता नहीं है, बस आई
किनको
सपोर्ट इजराइल मतलब अंधे तरीके से, राइट विंग सर।
हाँ तो उसमें क्या कर सकते हो? मूर्खों का क्या किया जा सकता है बताओ? और ये इनमें से सबके
मैंने
सब
देखे
मूर्ख भी
ऐसे
नहीं है।
कमेंट्स
आज
वगैरह
सुबह
देखे। हेलो।
हाँ, आज सुबह मैंने एक पोस्ट किया कि आज 8 बजे मैं लाइव आने वाला हूँ, उसके नीचे किसी ने इज़राइल का झंडा लगा दिया। तो मैंने बोला ठीक है, मैं भी भारत का झंडा लगाया तो मैंने लगा दिया। फिर वो बोला इज़राइल को अपने बच्चों की रक्षा करने का अधिकार है। बोला ठीक है, पर उसका इस पोस्ट के साथ क्या संपर्क? क्या ये लोग इज़राइल के सपोर्ट में तब खड़े रहते हैं जब क्या ये लोग ज्यूज़ के सपोर्ट में तब खड़े रहते हैं जब एंटी सेमेटिक वायलेंस होता है एक माइनॉरिटी कम्युनिटी के खिलाफ? अमेरिका में ज्यूज़ एक माइनॉरिटी हैं और शायद मार्जिनलाइज़्ड नहीं कहा जा सकता पर माइनॉरिटी तो डेफ़िनेटली हैं। क्या वो डोनाल्ड ट्रंप के सपोर्टर्स के पक्ष में खड़े नहीं रहते जब वो लोग एंटी सेमेटिक चीज़ें कहते हैं? बिल्कुल रहते हैं। इज़राइल का सपोर्ट और वो सपोर्ट बिल्कुल अलग चीज़ है। अगर वो ज्यूज़ के सपोर्ट पे रहना चाहते हैं, तो उनको डोनाल्ड ट्रंप के सपोर्टर्स के खिलाफ होना चाहिए, पर वो नहीं होते। तो साफ-साफ दिखता है ये बकवास है।
मतलब मैक्सिमम लोगों को तो ये जो आपने यूएस की बात करी है, ये जो आपने जूस की माइनॉरिटी वगैरह की बात करी है, ये सब
हुँ,
इन सब चीज़ों की तो उनको कुछ नॉलेज होती नहीं है। बस स्पैम करे जा रहे हैं आई सपोर्ट इजराइल और फिर वो झंडे वंडे लगा रहे हैं, उसमें हार्ट बना रहे हैं बीच में। तो
हुँ।
क्यों अचानक से इनके अंदर ऐसे कैसे कौन से सेंटिमेंट्स जाग गए और ये
बोला ना
अ,
ये लोग बुलीज़ को सपोर्ट करते हैं। जो भी अपने से ज़्यादा दुर्बल के अधिकारों का हनन करेगा, ये उसके पक्ष में खड़े रहेंगे
हम्म,
और कुछ नहीं। इट्स द सेम रीज़न व्हाई दे
और
सपोर्ट हिंदू नेशनलिज्म इन इंडिया, सेम रीज़न दे सपोर्ट क्रिश्चियन नेशनलिज्म इन अमेरिका, सेम रीज़न दे सपोर्ट इज़राइल। इट्स द सेम थिंग।
और ऐसे मुस्लिम्स भी देखे मैंने, अब मतलब अभी इन कुछ दिनों में ऐसे मुस्लिम्स भी है जिनको पता कुछ नहीं है, दे आर जस्ट सपोर्टिंग पैलेस्टीन, क्योंकि
हम्म
वो खुद मुस्लिम है और वो पैलेस्तीन वाले भी मुस्लिम है।
हम्म ऐसे भी लोग
तो
हैं।
ऐसे भी है कि जिनको पता नहीं है, और ऐसे भी कुछ है, शायद ऐसे कुछ है जो कि एक हमास को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, जो कि बिल्कुल
बिल्कुल।
ह्यूमैनिटी के तो खिलाफ ही है बिल्कुल।
हम्म
अगर पैलेस्तीन की कोई साइड लेता है, वहां के लोगों की कोई साइड लेता है तो ठीक है, लेकिन टेररिस्ट की साइड तो कोई ले नहीं सकता। फिर भी
हम्म
ऐसे कुछ देखने को मिलते हैं इंडिया में ही, जिनको ज्यादा कुछ अता पता नहीं है, बस मुस्लिम है इसलिए वो पैलेस्टीन को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, एंड दे आर सपोर्टिंग हमास टू।
हमास।
यस, हाँ वही।
हमस खाने की चीज होती
अच्छा। वही,
है। एनीवे
हमास को
सेपियन,
सपोर्ट कर।
मैं अगला कॉलर लूं या आपके पास कोई और पॉइंट था?
नहीं नहीं, वैसे ज्यादा कुछ पॉइंट तो नहीं था, अगली बार आऊंगा, पहली बार जुड़ा
ठीक है।
था आपसे। ठीक है,
हम्म
ठीक है, बाय,
ठीक
थैंक यू।
है। बाय बाय। दैट वाज सेपियन। अब किसको लें? क्लोजेटेड दलित wants to talk. Hey, what's up?
Hey, Vimoh. Very nice to hear
Hey,
you.
same here. Go on.
I don't know. I had a completely different point in my mind, but I think I don't know. I kind of got overwhelmed. But
It's
yeah,
okay.
what I wanted to say. I think I typed a reply to somebody called Nemo. So
In the private chat,
I think
ignore
let
the
me.
private
Yeah,
chat.
yeah.
Nemo,
Oh, okay.
Nemo, Nemo, Nemo,
Or let me
behave.
paste it. Let me paste it. I think then probably I can talk. So I think Nemo pointed
Do you
like, how
want me
can a
to read
Dalit
out
be?
your do you want me to
Sure,
read out
sure,
his message and
sure,
your response? Wait, which
sure.
one are you responding to? Uh, okay, so Closeted Dalit said, Vimo, I wanted to discuss how popular anti-caste literature is not irrelevant for modern Dalits. Would love to explore helpful resources
No,
on
relevant.
assimilation with you. And
I meant relevant. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Nemo replies, how is a Dalit closeted? And then you reply, my grandfather gave us an upper caste surname, so my problem is not discrimination, but a perpetual fear of imminent discrimination if my identity gets revealed, and the added guilt of hiding your identity, a constant feeling of being dishonest. That is why closeted. Okay, go on.
Yeah, I think like it's very beautiful to hear all these conversations you have with people, and it's very refreshing, you know.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, because I see the conversation that happen on the Indian YouTube community, right? Because I think I grew up watching a lot of white content creators, people like Veritasium and all, who like very true to their craft, and like they're very honest to their
Hmm.
audience, right? And we
Hmm.
see like the examples we keep. I think you, Pranav,
Hmm.
everybody keeps taking examples of these problematic profiles. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was very. Forget all of that, but I
Closeted.
think
Closeted. You, if you
yeah.
want to turn off your web camera, that's okay because there's a blank thing showing up on screen.
Oh, sure, sure, sure.
Just turn off your webcam. Cool.
Is
Go
it
on.
better? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So what was I saying? What was I saying? Yeah. Sorry, I really lost my track of my thought.
it's okay.
Um, we were talking about, but I really like how patient you are with your guests, Vimo. If I were doing these streams, every time somebody stammered, every time somebody like, I see a lot of people spiral. They keep on being in the same loop. I'm like, hats
Hmm.
off to your patience. Um,
Thank you.
yeah. So I was saying how these conversations are a breath of fresh air, and how you also guide people into right resources, right? Like you talk about riddles of Hinduism and annihilation of caste and all of that. But it's like the audience for all. Like I also feel even when Ambedkar wrote all of this, I'm sure the yes, it was for empowering us, but it was also a larger. It was a social equality, right? To bring in
Hmm.
justice and to actually educate Savarnas in understanding the nuances of discrimination, how we felt, and all of that. So even today, all of this literature holds great as tools for Savarnas to understand what your
Yeah.
privilege is, what discrimination was back then, and all of that. But like I said, the example I gave, in today's world, in urban digital globalized world, the how discrimination actually, and you talk about this a lot, right? Like CV में resume में ऊपर किसी का नाम दिखता है, right? Like all of
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
these are the struggles of today's modern Dalits, right? But then
Mm.
the problem is, um, like, you have bought this topic as well, like how engineering doesn't teach you anything and all of that. So when you come from a marginalized background, when you are in your early years, your only focus would be to optimize your journey for maximum returns, right? Which could be engineering or being a doctor. And kahi se, like, you know, you, because you get reservation, get it no good call. Like, you know, that's how a Dalit is thinking, right? And in that process, he doesn't have time to read Ambedkar
Yeah.
or all of that, right? So, but then, yeah, you do all your, like, yeah, but once you reach a point in your life where now you're stable, now you have both the privilege, time, resources to engage in all these conversations and also educate yourself. But then there is no, I feel there is no resources for me, right? Because my problem is not
Mhm.
discrimination, my problem is assimilation, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Have
like
you
I
have
have
you have
worked.
you heard of the book? Sorry to interrupt, but have you heard of the
Yeah.
book called the Trauma of Caste by Yashika
No,
Datta?
no, no. And that's why this is the reason I came to this
Yeah,
stream, because I wanted to
I have
discover some
not read it.
resources. Yeah,
I have
yeah,
not read it because honestly, it is not for me. I still want to read it, but I think for this particular problem that you're talking about,
yeah.
that book might be useful.
So I just wanted to bring this lens to all the conversations that happens on your channel, because yes, you're doing a great job and you're helping Savarnas people understand, you know, what their privilege is. But I think because you're the only sane voice here, I think your channel can also be a great platform. Like, I don't know, maybe I would
Okay,
also,
so
yeah,
sorry. I want to correct
yeah,
something. The Trauma
yeah.
of Caste is not by Yashika Dutt. It's
Yeah.
by Tanimozi Soundararajan.
Thank you. I'll check this out.
Tanmoy Soundararajan. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, I was saying, because you're the only sane voice here, I think it would be also great for your channel to kind of become, you know, a place for people like us, you know, in finding more
Hmm.
resources. Like, this was a great, like, I don't know if you've ever quoted example of this book in this stream before, right? So,
I
um,
have. I haven't
okay,
quoted
okay,
it because I have not read it, but I know it
acha,
exists, and I
acha.
mean to get to it at some point of time. But yeah, the general thrust of my content is not that I am trying to. Uh, the general thrust of my content is I'm trying to educate fellow so-called Savarna people about their privilege.
Yes. No. I'm like, this is like that. That's the. I mean, like, I am like this is a niche audience, right? Like, I like. No, that's a very marketing lingo. But I'm saying is, what you're doing is more important than what I'm talking, right? So probably this is something I should be doing, right? Like, I'll, you know, maybe I will jump in and probably, you know, write, give tools to people like me, right? Like, all I'm saying is, just wanted to add a, give a new perspective, not just to you. I'm sure you already have this perspective, you know this struggle, but to audience, because a lot of people come and ask me, bro, discrimination hota hai kya? Bro, caste hota hai kya? So, like,
Ah,
I like, bro, I don't know,
yeah,
like, how to answer
absolutely.
you, because if I tell you who I'm right now, I don't know if you would be sitting and drinking beer with me right now, like, you know, this. So
Yeah,
how do I tell you caste doesn't exist, right? Like,
yeah.
so yeah, just wanted to say
You can
this.
start by saying, I think that people will not have food with someone from a Dalit background. And if they say, I totally would, then you say, oh, really? Here's my caste. And then watch
Yeah,
them
so I
go
think,
away.
yeah, I think, I don't know, I think, like, I'm not there yet,
Mhm.
like, maybe someday. I think you probably need some social credential. Maybe I don't know, I'm still, it's a journey. I think it's different for everybody. So
Mm.
yeah, I hope I feel safe someday, where, you know, I can throw this
If you
party
like,
trick on every. Yeah,
yeah, if you like, you can message me on Instagram
sure,
and we can
sure.
talk more about how to make you more present here.
Oh, thanks, man, thanks a lot, means a
Cool.
lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
That was Closeted Dalit. He had a nice voice. Liked his voice. Hold on. I'm now taking Shahrukh Ahmed. But before I do that, let me just say hi to Golu. Hi, Golu. I always say hi to Golu. I have to say hi to Golu. Uh, Who else is here? By the way, we are out of time, so I think Shahrukh Ahmed is going to be the last caller. If the call is really short, I may take another person, but if it proves to be like 5 minutes long or more than that, then the other people can simply leave today and come back next week. Hi, Shahrukh.
हाय विमो
Hi, what's up?
आई एम फाइन मैं हिंदी में बात कर सकता हूँ आपसे
हिंदी में बात कर सकते हो, पर थोड़ा फ़ोन के पास आके कीजिए, फ़ोन या कंप्यूटर
अच्छा
जो भी है,
सॉरी
ताकि साफ सुनाई दे।
मैं एक काम करता हूँ हेडफोन ऑफ
हाँ, हेडफोन ऑफ करके ऐसे ही बात कीजिए।
Now I hope you can hear more ना
यस, आई
properly.
कैन। हाँ,
तो पहले मैं छोटा सा बैकग्राउंड बता देता हूँ कि आई एम एन एथिस्ट, मतलब हार्डकोर एकदम।
थोड़ा
मैं
ज़ोर से
डायरेक्ट
बोलेंगे शाहरुख?
मैं एथिस्ट हूँ, ठीक है, एंड काफी एजुकेटेड हूँ, साइंस में हूँ, मेडिकल में हूँ, आई एम ए स्पेशलिस्ट डॉक्टर, है ना। तो
हुँ,
होता ये है कि विद माय नेम लोग पहले से ही सोच लेते हैं कि ये ऐसा है। तो करंट सिनेरियो में जो पॉलिटिक्स है अराउंड द वर्ल्ड, तो दे स्टार्ट टू डिस्क्रिमिनेट एट वर्क स्पेस,
हुँ,
है ना। पहली तो ये प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम है। तो जैसे हेड ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट्स रहते हैं या फिर प्रिंसिपल्स रहते हैं, यानी जो भी पावर पोजीशन ऑफ पावर में रहते हैं, दे स्टार्ट टू अब्यूज मी, लाइक, और डिस्क्रिमिनेट मी। दे कैन डू इट इन मैनी वेज, है ना।
Do they do they do it because you're an atheist or because you're an ex-Muslim?
बिकॉज ऑफ माई नेम इट इज
Okay,
सफिशिएंट।
so then it's a
मेरे को बताने की
anti-Muslim
जरूरत
bias.
नहीं है कि आई एम एन एथिस्ट,
Got it,
ये बताने की
got it.
जरूरत ही कहाँ है
Hmm,
ना। दे
hmm,
वोंट इवन ट्राई टू नो मी,
hmm,
फॉर दैट मैटर। उनको लगता है कि ये
yeah,
नाम है तो ये जैसा 9 PM प्राइम टाइम पे जो दिखाते हैं मुस्लिम्स को, वैसा ही होगा ये। तो
hmm,
मोस्ट ऑफ द पावर पोजीशन ऑफ पावर में ऐसे ही लोग हैं आज के टाइम में, जो राइट विंग एक्सट्रीमिस्ट और इस तरीके के हैं। तो उसकी वजह से मेरे को प्रॉब्लम आती है। लाइक 2 years कहीं मैं ड्यूटी कर रहा हूँ, तो एक नॉर्मल पर्सन को 1 या 2 times डेपुटेशन या ट्रांसफर होएगा, बट मेरे जैसे पर्सन को 10 times 15 times हो जाएगा। या फिर मैं वर्क कर रहा हूँ जैसे केसेस करने, सर्टेन टाइम ऑफ पीरियड में मेरे को 9 to 5 में एक मेरा कलीग 10 या 20 केसेस कर रहा है, तो मेरे को 30 केसेस करने के लिए फोर्स किया जाएगा। एंड इवन इफ आई एम गोइंग फॉर अ टॉयलेट ब्रेक, तो आई गेट स्कोल्डेड फॉर दैट।
hmm,
ये मैं रेजिडेंसी की बात बता रहा हूँ, जो है ना,
hmm,
स्पेशलिटी में 3 years आपको करने पड़ते हैं, उसके बारे में बता रहा हूँ। तो वन प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम इज दिस, ठीक है। और सेकंड प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम इज कि लाइक मेरे कॉलेज के फ्रेंड्स थे जो आरएसएस विंग के थे, ओके, बट आई नेवर बॉदर्ड अबाउट इट लाइक इन कॉलेज, है ना। बट
hmm.
लेकिन जैसे ही अभी पॉलिटिकल सिनेरियो चेंज हुआ है पिछले 5-6 साल में, तो मैंने एक्सीडेंटली उसका ट्विटर हैंडल फाइंड आउट कर लिया, वन ऑफ माय बेस्ट फ्रेंड का। तो और मैंने उसकी हिस्ट्री देखी, तो उसकी हिस्ट्री तो कई सालों से वैसी ही चली आ रही है, मतलब बहुत ज्यादा एक्सट्रीमिस्ट वो पोस्ट
Hmm.
जैसे रहते हैं ट्विटर पे, यू नो इट।
Anonymous
तो
अकाउंट था या अपने असली नाम का इस्तेमाल करता था?
अपने असली नाम का, है
अच्छा।
ना। तो मेरा फेसबुक पे भी फ्रेंड था, मैं इंस्टाग्राम जनरेशन का हूँ नहीं, तो फेसबुक पे भी अकाउंट था। तो मैंने कहा कि तू ये सब चीजें फेसबुक पे क्यों नहीं डालता, फेसबुक पे तेरे ज्यादा कॉन्टेक्ट्स हैं, है ना।
Hmm.
क्योंकि वो फेसबुक पे बिगड़ साउंड नहीं करना चाहता, इसलिए फेसबुक में नहीं डालता। और ट्विटर पे
हाँ,
डालता है क्योंकि ट्विटर पे कोई फ्रेंड्स नहीं है, और
कोई
जितनी
फ़र्क
चाहे
नहीं पड़ता।
हेटरेट
हाँ, हाँ।
कर लो आपको, है ना।
ऐसे बहुत
तो
से लोग हैं बाय द वे, ऐसे बहुत से लोग हैं जो कि जानते हैं कि उनके विचार अगर उनके ऑफ़िस के कॉलीग्स के सामने आ गए, तो वो किसी को
एग्जैक्टली
शक्ल दिखाने लायक नहीं रहेंगे, इसलिए वो छुप-छुप के ये सब करते हैं और अपने आप को वीर योद्धा कहते हैं।
एग्जैक्टली और
हुँ,
वही सारे डीपीज वगैरह में उनका वही रहता है, मुस्लिम हेटरेट
हुँ,
रहती है और ये सब चीजें रहती है। तो अब दूसरी प्रॉब्लम ये है कि मैं कैटेगरी से बिलोंग नहीं करता, लेकिन मेरे को डिस्क्रिमिनेशन फेस करना पड़ता है। और दूसरी चीज कि अब मैं ऐसे फ्रेंड को कैसे टैकल करूं। फिर मैंने उससे बातें करना बंद कर दिया, और धीरे धीरे उसको, हालांकि वो भाई भाई बोलता है मेरे को, बट
हुँ,
अब इट डजेंट मैटर। वो पर्सनली मेरे को नुकसान नहीं पहुंचाना चाहता, लेकिन वो एक कैटेगरी ऑफ पीपल को नुकसान पहुंचाना चाहता है। और चाहे या अनचाहे मैं उस कैटेगरी ऑफ पीपल के अंदर इंक्लूड हो जाता हूँ।
आते हो,
तो
आते हो।
अब मैं क्या करूँ। तो दैट इज माय सेकंड क्वेरी। तो आई डिसाइडेड टू अनफ्रेंड हिम, लाइक आई स्टॉप टॉकिंग
ऑन
टू
सोशल
हिम।
मीडिया और लाइक रियल लाइफ?
रियल लाइफ।
ओके।
और फिर उसी के साथ एक और मेरा फ्रेंड था, लाइक जिस फ्रेंड की बात बताई वो अपर कास्ट हिंदू है, एंड सेकंड जो फ्रेंड था मेरा वो दलित हिंदू था. लेकिन व्हाट हैज हैपेंड आफ्टर 2014 इज कि लाइक दलित पीपल हैव स्टार्टेड फीलिंग इंक्लूडेड इन दैट हिंदू आइडियोलॉजी. तो उन्हें लगने लगा कि हम इंक्लूड हो रहे हैं. तो फिर मैंने उसको ये बात बताई कि उसके साथ मेरी ये बातें होगी, फेस ऑफ हो गया मेरा. तो फिर उसने भी उसकी साइड ली इंस्टेड ऑफ टेकिंग मी, जबकि आई नो हिम लॉन्गर, है ना. ओरिजिनली वो ही मेरा सबसे पुराना फ्रेंड था. तो फिर धीरे धीरे करके मैंने उससे भी कट ऑफ होना चालू कर दिया. तो दैट इज द इश्यूज लाइक.
As I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry this happens. In fact, if you know about my past, do you know about it?
नो.
So I used to be a BJP supporter.
या मैंने आपका देखा है काफी, है ना,
Episode
स्ट्रीम
55 देखा है
आपका
ना?
और मेगमेट का. आई बीन वाचिंग रिसेंटली.
So जब मैं बीजेपी सपोर्टर था, मेरे ऑफिस में ऐसे कॉलीग्स थे जो कि मुस्लिम थे. बट द सिचुएशन वाज स्लाइटली डिफरेंट, क्योंकि वो पूरा का ऑफिस प्रो, मतलब वो ऑफिस जहाँ पे मैं काम करता था वो एक प्रो मोदी पब्लिकेशन था. So they were also
ओके.
pro Modi. So
यप.
I didn't run into this exact problem, but I still have Muslim friends who have, I mean, I would like to think of them as friends who have not forgiven me for that. And I don't blame them. You have every right to call yourself by whatever name you want, by whatever ideology you want, and nobody has the right to treat you as a lesser person because of that.
एग्जैक्टली.
If you have people in your life who, like, they're not your friends, right? If someone is supporting politics that is going to act against your interests and the interests of people who have names like you, but they say नहीं नहीं मुझे तेरे से कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है,
एग्जैक्टली.
then they're not really your friends. They're just, तो एक ऑफिस में काम करते हो, it is difficult not to talk to someone, so they talk to you. And I think you did the smart thing, the wise thing, by cutting them off from your life. And
एग्जैक्टली.
hopefully, हाँ बोलिए.
यस. नहीं, आप बोलिए प्लीज.
मैं कह रहा था कि आपके ऑफिस में, आपके सर्कल में ऐसे लोग हैं जिनके साथ आप बात कर सकते हैं?
हाँ, कुछ एक मतलब जैसे ऐसे भी मेरे फ्रेंड्स हैं, जूनियर्स हैं जो मतलब लेफ्ट लीनिंग है, तो
हम्म.
और एथिस्ट भी हैं इवन, क्योंकि
हम्म.
ऑलरेडी.
गुड.
तो आई मिंगल विद देम.
वैसे
मतलब मैं
एथिस्ट होना इस
सिलेक्टिव
बात
हो
की
गया हूँ.
गारंटी नहीं. हाँ.
मतलब मैं थोड़ा सिलेक्टिव हो गया हूँ अब, है ना, फ्रेंड चूज करते टाइम. बट
हम्म.
जो डीपर कनेक्शन थे जो कॉलेज लाइफ में बनते हैं एंड ऑल, अब वो बनने का पीरियड नहीं है. अब इस एज में तो ट्रांजैक्शनल रिलेशनशिप होती है ज्यादातर,
होती है, हो
कलीग्स
जाती
एंड
है,
ऑल.
हो जाती है, हाँ. बट दैट
तो
डज नॉट मीन यू कैन नॉट बिल्ड योर कम्युनिटी. मैं एक चीज़, ये जो लाइव स्ट्रीम है ना, ये मैं इंस्टाग्राम पे शुरू किया था, और वहाँ
ओके.
पे हमने एक यूनिक चीज़ देखी, और वो ये थी, कई बार लोग आके कहते हैं कि मेरे दोस्त, मेरे परिवार मेरे खिलाफ हो गए हैं, लाइक दे थिंक ऑफ मी एज एन एंटी नेशनल और अ ट्रेटर और समथिंग, सिंपली बिकॉज आई एम ऑफ द ओपिनियन दैट पीपल शुड नॉट बी डिस्क्रिमिनेटेड अगेंस्ट.
हम्म.
तो मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? तो मैं हमेशा उनको एक चीज़ कहता था, एंड दिस इज बॉर्न आउट ऑल्सो, कि जो लोग एक ऐसी कम्युनिटी बन गए हैं जिनके साथ तुम्हारा रहना मुश्किल हो गया है,
एग्जैक्टली.
उन उन कम्युनिटीज़ में बिलोंग करने की कोशिश भी छोड़ दो. ऐसी दूसरी कम्युनिटीज़ बनाओ which are full of people like you, people who are on the right side of history, people who are not assholes, people who are sensible enough to understand that cruelty cannot take anyone forward. ये मुश्किल है, मैं मानता हूँ. अगर कॉलेज लाइफ पीछे छूट गई तो मुश्किल है. सबसे टाइट रिलेशनशिप्स और फ्रेंडशिप्स तब बनती हैं जबकि कॉलेज लाइफ में थे तो. बट उसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि नए बॉन्ड्स नहीं बनाए जा सकते या नई कम्युनिटीज बिल्ड नहीं की जा सकती. So don't worry about the people who you had to cut out of your life because they were assholes. Focus on the new people. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि हर न्यू पर्सन के साथ तुम्हारा बॉन्ड अच्छे से बन जाएगा, पर अगर कोशिश करोगे, अगर 10 तक नहीं भी पहुंच पाए ना, 8 तक ही पहुंच पाए, इट्स वर्थ इट. इट्स वर्थ इट. आजकल के टाइम में दोस्त बनाना ही मुश्किल है, जनरली स्पीकिंग, फॉरगेट एवरीथिंग, क्योंकि
एग्जैक्टली.
लाइफ इतनी आइसोलेटेड और मतलब क्या सेक्लूडेड हो गई है. But it's worth it. If you try to build a new community for the sake of your peace of mind, it's worth it. And you can always come back here. यहाँ पे सब अपने जैसे लोग हैं.
एग्जैक्टली मैंने यही कमेंट किया था आपके यूट्यूब पे कि मतलब पहले मैं बहुत ही लो फील कर रहा था, देन आई स्टार्टेड वाचिंग यू एंड मेघनाट एंड देन आई फाइनली फाउंड माय इको चैम्बर ऐसे करके।
इट्स नॉट एको चेम्बर, हमारा एको चेम्बर है ही नहीं। एको चेम्बर वो होता है जिसके अंदर एको आ सके, क्योंकि सारी दीवारें क्लोज्ड होती हैं। हमारी दीवारें क्लोज्ड है क्या, आधा टाइम तो इनकी बकवास सुननी पड़ती है। उनका एको चेम्बर है क्योंकि उनको हमारी बात सुनाई नहीं देती, हमको उनकी बात सुननी पड़ती है बहुत सारी, इसीलिए हमारा एको चेम्बर नहीं है।
It was nice talking to you. चलो विमो,
थैंक्स, दैट्स
thanks for having me.
completely my pleasure, शाहरुख।
Thank you.
Thank you, bye bye। And this makes me, oh, okay. J. Jonah Jameson, while laughing, says, Vimo, I'm curious as to how, in a span of 3 years, you have completely turned from right wing to an atheist and a left winger. It's not 3 years. It started before, it started in the middle of, it started in the middle of 2016, actually. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 7 साल हो गए हैं। And if you want to know more about it, watch episode 55 on this channel. हर एपिसोड के थंबनेल पे एपिसोड नंबर लिखा होता है। Browse back to episode 55 and watch it. I'm so glad I did that on episode 55. Makes it so much easier to remember. राइट, सो अभी और कॉलर नहीं लिए जाएंगे। थैंक यू टू एवरीवन हु इज हियर। आज बहुत टाइम होगा, आज एक गेस्ट भी आए थे और उन गेस्ट के बारे में मैं कुछ टाइम तक भूल भी गया था। सो आज का लाइव स्ट्रीम थोड़ा सा ऑकवर्ड शेप्ड हो गया। डोंट वरी अबाउट इट, नेक्स्ट सैटरडे कम बैक करो, हम लोग बात करेंगे। बिफोर आई एंड, आई वुड लाइक टू रीड अ कपल ऑफ चैट पॉइंट्स, बट बिफोर दैट आई जस्ट रिमाइंड एवरीवन, you can support this channel by becoming a member by clicking the join button below, and you can support this channel on Patreon at patreon.com/Vimoh. You can also send money directly at Vimoh at UPI, VIMOH @UPI. And there is also my website www.vimoh.in, जहाँ पे एक सपोर्ट बटन है जिस पे क्लिक करके आप वन टाइम कंटेंट भेज सकते हो। सो हैविंग गॉटन ऑल ऑफ दैट आउट ऑफ द वे, अरे यार मुझे हर बार लोगों को मैनुअली रिमूव क्यों करना पड़ता है? आज और कॉलर नहीं ले रहा है, पीपल कैन रिमूव देमसेल्व्स। थैंक यू। Let me just read a couple of live chat messages. Let's see. Srinjan says, Vimo Bhau, how to counter Hindutva? I have shown misogynist quotes to them from Narad Smriti, Yajnavalkya Smriti, Shiv Puran, etc. from the original Gorakhpur version. They say that I am lying. Oh, they say that you're lying. उसका क्या किया जा सकता है? See, my approach normally is that I don't try to go into scripture, because scripture के बारे में बात करोगे तो यही होगा। वो बोलेगा नहीं ये गलत इंटरप्रिटेशन है, या ये कुछ लेफ्ट विंग इंटरप्रिटेशन है, कोई वेस्टर्न हिस्टोरियन का ट्रांसलेशन है। मैं सीधे पेड़ की जड़ पर फोकस करता हूँ, which is the basic superstitious claims. I don't need to go into the Quran, the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Vedas to prove that they're wrong point by point. I can simply take their basic claim, which is the existence of a supernatural reality or God, and ask them for evidence. ये पेड़ उगते वहां से हैं, और ये जो एक्स्ट्रा चीजें हैं ये सब ब्रांचेस हैं। तुम एक ब्रांच काटोगे 4 और उग जाएंगी, तुम उनको काटोगे 10 और उग जाएगी। कब तक काटते फिरोगे? सीधे जड़ पर फोकस करो, which is their central claim that is being made without evidence. That's what I do. Taranga says, yes, one can make friends at any age. Yes, that is something I discovered later. But I would also agree that nothing comes close to the bonds that you build in college. School friends don't come close. College friends, like office friends, definitely don't come close. But college friends, like, they're really strong bonds, and it is really hurtful when those bonds break. Let's see. Brother Sid is back with a question about genetic evolution, but we will take that some other time. Mod FX says, thank you, Vimo. Sorry, did not realize you had a Twitch channel. I do. I just simulcast to it. I don't spend much time on it. There is a plan to do Twitch-only streams at some point of time, but I'm lazy. So that doesn't happen. No, I'm not lazy. I just can't think of something good to do. I think I'll do reaction streams on it. We'll see. Daily Undaily says, well, the main thing I can think of making friend in college time is that we have fun in that time. If we include fun in life, even in later part, I think we can make friends. I don't think it happens because of fun, because you have a lot of fun in school also, right? The difference between school and college is that throughout school, you are turning into an adult. And at college, you have finally become that adult. So, as an adult, when you look at the friends you had in school, it sometimes becomes very difficult to relate to them because they're not the same people. They changed, you changed, the things you like changed, your outlooks about life changed. So, you're basically looking at completely different people. But in college, you make friends with people who are adults as an adult, and you remain that person more or less for the rest of your life. So, that is why those bonds stay, I think. J. Jonah Jameson says the four horsemen, your opinion on them. If you're talking about the four horsemen of new atheism, Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, Christopher Hitchens, and Daniel Dennett. About Daniel Dennett, I will say that I have not read anything by him. The other three I have read stuff by, and I think they have written good books. I have some problems with them. Sam Harris के साथ problem ये था कि he platforms anyone these days, although that may be changing. Richard Dawkins was never good at philosophy, and his book, The God Delusion, was not the book that converted me to atheism. It was actually Yuval Noah Harari. Christopher Hitchens I like best, but my problem with him is that he supported the Iraq war and refused to step back even after it became clear that there were no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. So, yeah, that's my view on them. राइट सो दैट्स इट आई गेस हम लोग 1 घंटा 38 मिनट्स पे हैं थैंक यू एवरीवन फॉर ज्वाइनिंग टुडे आई एम सॉरी इफ इट वाज अ लिटिल अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड थैंक्स टू माय केयरलेसनेस but next Saturday we will do a more tight one. I'll take tons of callers and we'll talk about a bunch of stuff. So thank you, and I'll see you next week. Until then, please take care of yourselves. Have a great half week ahead. Bye bye.